It is time now for my peer pressure segment. Oh, I do need to say that we are WFMU, East Orange, WMFU, Mount Hope, WFMU.org. And my guest is Steve Zing.
Hello, Diane.
Oh, hello. How are you?
Merry New Year.
Ah, yes, indeed. Thank you for coming. And Steve is live in the studio, so if people want to ask any questions via the playlist, please do. What have you been up to lately?
Making music. Doing. I got Dano sitting here.
Dano.
And Dano's the bass player, of course, for Marra's Drug and formerly Doomtree.
Mm-hmm.
And we're making music, and of course the Danzig thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got
now, when you say the Danzig thing, so flippantly and so casually, I mean that's a big thing.
Yeah.
You play big places. You play with big bands and festivals. Like that's a.
Yeah.
In terms of billing, and you went like you do a big festival in Europe. Who is Danzig playing with next to now?
Let's see. We opened for Aerosmith.
Yes.
We're supposed to be opening for Iron Maiden, I think, in May.
Wow.
Yeah, things like that. So it's all good. We finished this Legacy tour this past year at the Bonnaroo Festival.
Oh, right. Bonnaroo.
So,
how was that?
It's 80,000 screaming, filthy, dirty, sweaty people, but great. It was a great show.
And you're washed and clean when you get up on stage and
Absolutely
laughing at them.
Absolutely.
You guys are dirty. I only get my picture taken with blood on me, but I'm clean.
You know what? I think it's a great festival. I just couldn't do it as a spectator. That's just Tennessee in the summer is just not a place to be.
Yeah, just that description, Tennessee in the summer. No, not my vacation.
For the artists, it was great because they have air conditioned, restroom trailers and air conditioned tents where the artists eat and stuff. So it wasn't so bad.
Well, they have to take care of the talent. I mean, you guys can't go out there like exhausted and.
You have bands like the Chili Peppers around the bill, and Alice Cooper, and the Beach Boys.
Wow.
Alice Cooper was great.
Alice Cooper is always great. I've seen
band.
Alice Cooper like every year for years and years and years, if I can. Lately, the tickets have been very expensive for him. But
tickets in general. But the band was great. He had that Oriental, the girl, the guitar player.
Is she Australian, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Swedish or something. But she was amazing.
Yeah.
So the whole band was amazing.
He always knows what to play and who to have in his band. He's there's always an angle. He always has it going on.
They just went on without a sound check, and they just line check, and boom, they were going. And
really?
It was amazing.
Wow.
Well, at festivals, you don't get sound
Yeah,
checks,
that's
so.
true. Yeah.
But, so that's what we got going on.
And so did that take up your whole summer?
No, we only did 9 shows this year. I think 7 out of 9 were, or no, I think 2 or 3 were legacies, and then the rest were just Danzig with Doyle.
Oh.
And then we'll be doing a Danzig with Doyle show April 13th in Long Beach, California.
Really?
Yeah, at the Punk Rock Picnic.
Do tell. What is the Punk Rock Picnic? There's got to be something.
Well, I found out about it on Facebook. So it's always good to find out about your own show.
About your own
Facebook.
show.
Yeah. So the Punk Rock Picnic is us and Gwar and the Stains and 45 Grave.
Wow.
Shattered Faith, Channel 3.
Wow.
The Mentors.
What year is this?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I thought this was an old poster. I had no idea.
Right. Yeah.
So it's all good. And of course, Danzig, we had Tommy Victor from Prong, and of course the great Johnny Kelly on drums.
Mm-hmm. In this last set, we played some Doomtree, which I want to talk to you about just because I adore that Doomtree record.
I'm proud of it.
It's a great record. And now the band is called Marra's Drug. What was the?
The problem was we had filed for a patent or a trademark for the name, and at the same now we bought the Doomtree.com. I bought that in August of 2001. And 2 years later, another band called Doomtree bought Doomtree.net, already knowing that we had Doomtree.com.
Right.
We had sent them a cease and desist from our lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
They never responded. But we had the intent, and we did file for a trademark. And at the same time, they filed for a trademark. The only difference is they had a friend who was an attorney. So now they sent us paperwork. Of course, we have to respond.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is, we had to pay our attorney every time.
Oh, every time.
So it was running into the thousands of dollars, and I talked to Dan and our guitar player Falco, and I'm like, this just it's not worth the fight. And I asked him, can we win? He's like, yeah, you can win at some point, but it depends, how long they want to keep going. And even if at a discounted rate that he was giving us, it still ran into thousands of dollars, and it just wasn't worth it.
Right.
I'm like, let's just change the name and take money and invest it in ourselves and recording rather than give it to a lawyer, because I hate lawyers.
You even hate your lawyer?
He's a nice guy.
He's probably listening.
I don't really care.
Good. I like that about
care.
you, Steve. And so what's the significance of the name Marra's Drug?
There is no significance.
Who's Marra?
Well, Marra could be anybody.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know if it was, if that was the name of like a drug company or...
It's not the owner of the Giants.
Okay. Okay.
But it's a great band.
I know.
I'm proud of it.
And
It's you know what? Marra's Drug, the actual CD that you can get on iTunes, it's actually probably the first CD that I've ever done that I actually listened to. Because I can't listen to anything from the past. It kind of, like, the Doomtree stuff is cool. And I like, there's certain songs, like The Light that you play, that is one of my favorite. But the Marra's Drug, I can listen to it over and over.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, if I was a fan, I would actually listen to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a fan of my own band.
Well, but what about your history? I mean, you have such a rich history, and you've been in so many other bands. You're a member of the Undead and Mourning Noise, and and Samhain we haven't even really touched on.
I'm all proud of everything, and I feel blessed, and I am blessed to, I'm just a kid from Lodi, New Jersey who's done pretty good. But like some of the stuff I can listen to, like every once in a while I'll put on a Samhain song or something, and it's like, okay, I was there. It's not... kind of weird to listen to yourself. Like I said, the Marra's Drug thing, I could listen to it because I actually enjoy it.
Yeah.
It just hits me in a different way.
Could it be because you enjoy your songwriting? I mean, everything is a growth, right? And it's like, you learn, you get better, and you see, like, Mourning Noise or something from years and years and years ago as well, when I wasn't that good, or when I didn't know how to write this, or I didn't write that, or...
You know what? I look at it as different parts of my life. And Mourning Noise, of course, I started when I was in high school. And, of course, being young and naive and not so good.
That's the best way.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it was strictly grassroots. You go in the studio, you record, you play loud, and how it comes. And like I said, I'm proud of everything. This one, though, I think because the band, Marra's Drug, I mean, myself and Dano here, he's like my brother, and Falco, we're like brothers, and it's such an easy situation. No one walks on eggshells. There's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's really no problems. Like, we couldn't play, if we didn't play together for a year and we got together in a room, it would be like we were playing every day. It's just real easy. So it makes it that much more enjoyable.
Yeah, you haven't had a fist fight.
There's been no fist fights, and I've actually had fist fights in the past with band members.
Really?
Absolutely.
Which bands?
There was a band that I used to have called China.
Oh.
I had to smack somebody right in the mouth.
Really? Did they remain in the band?
Yeah, absolutely.
If they can take your shot, they stay in the band. And just for the record, Steve Zing is one of the nicest guys on the planet.
I like to think so.
God knows what they were doing to get punched like that.
I seem to attract people that I have fights with, and I had a fight in a supermarket because somebody pushed me into the muffins. And I smacked him, and then I hit him with a bundt cake. True story.
Really?
Absolutely.
Did you have to like buy the bakery at that point?
No, it was in an A&P. It was in the bakery department.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
they didn't say.
well, the cops came. Everybody. It was a big scene.
Wow.
And then there was a situation with the shovel. Oh, that's another story.
Steve, do we need to take you to some kind of anger management?
No, I'm really mellow. And then a few weeks ago in my gym, I was just working out, and I punched a guy because he got in my face. It was a long story, but
Fear him.
No, absolutely not.
Fear him.
Well, only if he has baked goods about him at the time.
No, I won't hit you with a cupcake. Just a bundt cake.
Just a bundt cake.
Because the sound it makes.
Bunt. So I did play in this last set also your version of Del Shannon's Runaway.
Ah.
And I wanted to find out about that. Was that released?
So here's what happened with that. When I was about 18, I think it was, I had never done any kind of singing, and that Runaway song was one of my favorite songs. When I was a kid, there was 3 things I listened to before I got into punk rock. Elvis, Kiss, and 50s music, and some 60s stuff. And that Del Shannon's Runaway was one of my favorite songs, and I wanted to try singing. So we went into the studio, myself, Mike Morantz, his brother Chris, who was in Morning Noise, and we recorded a version of it, and I just wanted to try singing. So I pressed 145s.
Wow.
And I sent it to this college thing, and it went to like number 5 on the college charts. But I never released it because I never got any permission to actually send it out. So I recorded 100 copies, and I've seen them for up to like, somebody had one for sale on eBay for like $700.
Really? Do you have a copy?
I have like 2.
Mm-hmm.
So
was it a whole?
I'm saving them for my daughters.
Oh, nice. Was it a picture sleeve? Was it
yes,
a whole?
It was.
It was done up, but for the most part, it was promos.
Yes, that's all it was. It was just for, because I felt like being somebody.
Well, but that's a great way to do it. I found that on YouTube, and I thought, well, what on earth?
I didn't even know it was on YouTube.
Yeah, so somebody who has one of those 45s.
Well, I hope they make money with it.
So let's see. I have a question here from a listener who says, how does a 19-year-old teenager from Ridgefield, New Jersey, make it into the professional field of music?
How does a 48-year-old man make it? Oh, you know what? You just keep playing. If you're a musician, keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
Be yourself, because everyone else has been taken.
Very good. I like that.
That's all I can say. Be yourself. Write your own music and play. Play backyards, barbecues, clubs, high schools. It doesn't matter. Just play. That's all I can say.
Mm-hmm.
And keep away from all the crap out there.
The baked goods.
Keep away from the bakeries.
Let's see. There is another question here. Oh, somebody says, "What's it like looking over at Doyle while you're on stage? Do you guys have inside jokes and things from childhood?"
We absolutely, because Doyle and I went to from kindergarten through high school together.
Oh, really?
Absolutely. And so because that's how I met Glenn Danzig and everything. In 1978, Doyle comes into school and says, "Hey, remember I told you my brother's in the band, of course, the original incarnation of the Misfits."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, they're rehearsing at my house after school. Why don't you come by?" So I'm a little kid, I'm 13, I think, and I go by and into the garage, and there they are, the original Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
And they started playing, and right there, it changed my life.
Really?
Right there. I said, I'm gonna play, I can do this, and I'm gonna be in a band with this guy. And that was it.
Wow.
Changed my life. So when you're getting back to your original question, when Doyle and I are on stage, we'll walk by each other, and he'll shout out a name of a teacher that we had in first grade. And I'll shout out something else to him, and he'll go, "Oh my God! Oh, I forgot about her."
Yeah, yeah.
Both Doyle and I had a crush on our second grade teacher. We'll never forget her, Miss Sorbello. She was so hot. A second grade teacher. Mm-hmm. We were feeling things. We had no idea what was going on in our bodies, but this girl was hot.
Well, she was probably like in her early 20s. I mean, as a teacher.
But you were 7.
Well,
it doesn't matter. She was this Miss Sorbello was hot. She was, she was like, of course, second grade. They teach everything, but she always would have us make us do fun art projects and stuff. She was so hot.
There must be something in the Lodi water.
Hey, it keeps us young. The Lodi water is great. There's 3 great things about Lodi, where we grew up.
Yes.
The water, Hank's Franks, and Lodi pizza.
Hank's Franks.
Buy 8, get 1 free.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh, my God.
You know the Hank's motto?
I'm afraid to ask.
We use no fat. We use no grease. Our hot dogs you'll digest with ease.
That's kind of a mouthful for a hot dog slogan.
You're right, but it works.
Well, at least you remember it.
Absolutely. It's the motto. It's the Hank's motto.
I have you here, obviously, to be a guest DJ as well as being a guest.
Absolutely.
What are we going for on your playlist?
We're going to start off with a little Marra's Drug Christmas medley.
Uh-huh.
Just to, we're still in Christmas, Hanukkah, and of course approaching New Year.
Yes, absolutely. Is there an apostrophe in Marra's Drug?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And let's see what we got here.
Oh, you know what? Before we get going with music, I want to dedicate this whole thing to Pat Duncan.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and I do want to, of course, acknowledge that you've been a friend of WFMU for years and years and years. How many bands of yours have played?
Many. And
yeah.
the first time I played WFMU was in April of 1982.
Wow.
Yeah.
And who was that with?
That was with Mourning Noise.
Okay. Nice.
So, 1982.
And was that on Pat's show?
That was on Pat's show.
There you go.
At the old Upsala College.
Mm-hmm. With
Never forget it.
Orange shag carpet. In
Absolutely.
Yes.
In the student center. So,
oh, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That was before our move to the house, right?
Right. And there were then I used to come and mix bands for Pat.
Oh, yeah.
And he reminded me one time of 2 bands that I mixed. And one was The Offspring and one was Green Day.
Wow. Not bad for a resume.
Not bad.
Yeah, there you go.
Absolutely.
So we'll dedicate these to Pat. One of these days he'll stop by.
I hope so.
So you said this is a Christmas medley?
Absolutely.
All right, let's hear what we got.
Here we go.
Deck falls with boughs of holly. 'Tis the season to be jolly. Down we now our gay apparel. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol. See the blaze in your big fire.
Do you play any instruments in Marra Strokes?
No, thankfully.
So what's with that? Because you started off as a drummer, from what I know about your history, right? In Mourning Noise and some early, and then I guess you became a bass player.
Only because that's what was paying.
Oh, okay.
If it was xylophone, I would have played that too. You know,
But that makes you a professional because you get paid.
because I get paid to do it.
Mhm. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. So how did that go? How was the transition?
It was really simple. When we did the Danzig Samhain tour in 1999, it was myself and Glenn, of course, London May, and our original guitar player, Damien, couldn't do because he was playing with Iggy Pop. And the original bass player wasn't going to do it. So we decided that, being that London and I were both drummers in Samhain, we had to kind of figure something out. So Glenn said, you play bass on the stuff that London played drums on, and London will play bass, you know, on what you play drums on. So I'm like, I never played bass before.
Wow.
So I got a bass and practiced the songs. And then what happened was 6 years ago with Danzig, Glenn called me and he's like, oh, we just fired our bass player. I said, oh, sorry, I don't know any. He says, well, but what about you? I'm like, well, I'm not a bass player. He goes, you could do it.
That's really cool.
So I called up Dano. I'm like, I need to borrow a bass so I can learn these songs. I'm like, and
I lent you two.
he lent me 2 basses.
Really?
And now, thanks to the great company called Schecter, they really take care of me and give me my basses and take care of me. So it's all really good.
But so it was actually Glenn Danzig's doing to make you a bass player.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean,
And it was at a great time because I was just going through a divorce.
Mhm.
And, you know, what do you do after being with one person for 18 years? And, you know, don't know
Tour.
anything. You go on tour.
Go on
You
tour.
Go on tour.
It's called the Alimony Tour.
That's another story for another time.
All right. But that really is, you know, I mean, and I've never met Glenn Danzig, you know, and I do go way back in terms of the scene and all that, but I've just never spoken to him or hung out with him or anything. But to have somebody just to suggest to you, no, you can play bass. I'd like you to play bass. You can do it. I mean, that's actually really huge and a great boost of confidence and quite a lot of trust.
You know what?
Glenn trusts you.
To his credit, number one, he's influenced so many people, including me. He changed my life from when I was a kid. Like I said, the first time I stepped into the garage in Lodi, New Jersey, it just...
And was it the music? Was it the aura? Was it
It was everything.
It was everything. It was like the package.
It was the complete package.
He got it. He's got it. That's it.
They were doing something that nobody else was doing.
I'm sure.
And of course, he had a voice like no other.
Right.